In the history of modern warfare, soldiers in the trenches have been betrayed many times. The Vietnam Memorial in Washington records the names of thousands of veterans who died there. What it doesn't record is the many thousands who are sick or who have died from the effects of Agent Orange, the chemical used to clear the jungle, which also poisoned American troops. The Vietnam veterans battled through presidency after presidency before they were finally told the truth. Today, history repeats itself. In the United States, 70,000 soldiers have registered sick with Gulf War syndrome. Some recall similar experiences of gas attacks during the Gulf War.
This is just strictly...
Nick Roberts wants to know what happened to his unit when an Iraqi Scud exploded near their camp in Saudi Arabia.
I haven't been able to keep up with the entire group, only a lot of the veterans in this area. I know there's 43 sick.
Out of a group of how many?
112.
They've been prodding and poking and doing this. And
Roy
that.
Butler was a member of that same group.
Sticking your muscles.
He's undergoing medical tests to find out why he's sick.
Spinal tap, that makes that back sore.
Nick and Roy's unit were based at the port of Al Jubail in Saudi Arabia.
We were waking about 3 o'clock in the morning with a loud explosion. It just shook the whole tent, and it's sort of like everybody thought the world was coming to an end, you know.
If you want to get real technical, I saw a big fireball or flash up towards the port of Jabal, and then the echo of the explosion. Then we went to the bunker.
And while we was outside, we felt this mist type stuff, like a rain.
My hands and my face were stinging and burning. My lips started feeling funny, like they were numb. That's when the sirens started going off.
I had put on my mask while going to the bunker, and when I got to the bunker, I had to take it off and clear my nasal passages. It was completely blocked. I got all kinds of gooey mess out of it, and I put my mask back on. My upper and lower lips started turning numb.
And that's when we heard coming in over the radio, full chemical alert, go to MOP level 4. That's where you put all your chemical equipment on. And we also heard over the radio confirmed blister agent.
We were told to keep our mouth shut about it, kind of like a direct order at formation the next day or the day after, not to talk about it anymore. That it would create so much havoc and confusion and panic amongst the men to not talk about it.
We had pretty bad attitudes. After that point, we started getting an attitude. We knew we were being lied to. We couldn't get any medical help. No one would answer any of our questions, and we were getting sick. We were getting sick within a week after the explosions. A lot of us were laying in bed with night sweats, with the flu, rashes, and it was all being put in our medical records. Those medical records do not exist any longer.
What does exist and has recently been released under the Freedom of Information Act are Central Command records of chemical detections. It took 4 years to get these logs released, yet whole sections are missing. Jim Chewett, ex-CIA, was in charge of a US Senate investigation into chemical attacks. We asked him what the logs reported on the night Roy Butler and Nick Roberts got sick.
What they told the soldiers was that it was a sonic boom. But one thing we know that refutes that is that, number one, chemicals were detected. Number two, visible explosions were seen. Number three, the soldiers got sick, nausea, vomiting, burning, stinging. Several days later, they got very ill with flu-like symptoms consistent with low-level exposures to agents or possibly even biotoxins, biochemical agents, poisons from bacteria. But we also know that the Iraqis were working on chemicals and biological agents that would maim that things like aflatoxins, which make you sick in the short term, nausea, vomiting, but in the long term cause cancers.
I've now got lymphoma cancer. When I finally caught it, it was stage 3. And that's cancer of the immune system, lymph nodes. And I've went through 3 different treatments of chemotherapy.
And what have the doctors told you about your health?
Just deteriorating, to be honest with you.
Department of Defense has failed to tell the truth about this issue ever since the war. They failed to tell the truth during the war. They failed to tell the truth when we first asked them for the information about what the soldiers may have been exposed to and what their experiences were during the war. So if you're asking me if I believe that they've been dishonest to our veterans, very much so.